I'm Stephen Butler. I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Science Officer at Inflection Incorporated in Newton, Massachusetts. And we have presented a study at the American Pain Society in Austin, Texas, on the relative abuse of abuse-deterrent formulations by alternate oral routes. This work was done by myself and my colleague Ryan Black at Inflection, and also Allison Fleming, who is with Collegium Pharmaceuticals, who funded our project. We were essentially interested in looking at oral abuse of abuse-deterrent formulations. Research to date suggests that the crush-resistant tablets that are on the market appear to have an appropriate effect on reducing the prevalence of snorting and injection. What we were interested in is for people who continue to abuse the abuse-deterrent formulations, then they do so orally. And the goal of this study was to examine those oral routes in more detail. So we used a data set that Inflection has called the Addiction Severity Index Multimedia Version, which is a clinical assessment that occurs at substance abuse treatment centers around the country. And we have a large number of assessments that go back to before 2009. And in this case, we looked at assessments of people entering treatment and the products, the prescription products that they abused in the past 30 days. So we looked at that over a time frame from 2009 through 2015. And then we selected a combined category of abuse-deterrent, crush-resistant prescription opioids, including reformulated OxyContin, reformulated Opana, and Nucynta ER. And we compared oral abuse of those products with several comparators, including abuse of original OxyContin and other oxycodone extended release, original oxymorphone and extended release, and morphine products, extended release products, and also oxycodone immediate release single entity product. And what we found was that there was a significantly greater percentage of oral abusers of the ADF products who used the product orally, but in a way that implied some kind of attempt to manipulate the product. So we looked at chewing, we looked at sucking on the tablet or dissolving it in the mouth, and we looked at dissolving it in liquid and drinking it, as well as swallowing it whole. And what we found was that the routes that required manipulation, specifically the chewing, the sucking, and the drinking, occurred more often, significantly more often, in the ADF products than in the comparator products, highly significant. We had a large sample size of about 18,000 people who were abusing these products by some oral route. When we looked at the routes individually, we saw that ADF products were significantly less likely to be swallowed whole and significantly more likely to be chewed than the comparator products. The ADF products were more likely to be sucked on than most of the comparator products, And drinking did not occur pretty much across the board. There was no difference. What's the purpose of this? Well, if abuse-deterrent formulations are reducing snorting and injection, then what happens for the people who continue to abuse these products is they gravitate to an oral route. So if an abuse-deterrent formulation is going to continue to, in the future, deter abuse, then we may be moving into a period where products not only discourage injection and snorting, but also discourage some of these other oral routes of manipulation that are other than the intended swallowed whole route. So the tablet might be more difficult to chew, or if one tries to chew it, then it doesn't, they don't get extra effect. And the same thing especially for chewing and sucking. So that's pretty much a summary of our presentation.